Team England attempts to stay unbeaten while facing its toughest challenge so far at United Stadium in Towson, Maryland. The form of Team Canada, a squad that realizes this game will have a big impact on the standings. You'll understand why as you look at this table. The United States is idle today. The winner of this game likely to finish pool play no lower than second, while Australia picked up its first victory in the tournament about an hour ago. Glad you've made it back for the nightcap. Along with Courtney Martinez-Connor, a five-time national champion at Maryland, I'm Joe Beninati. This should be a really, really good game. In a tournament that's as wide open perhaps as this one is, will seeding matter to these two squads?
You know, at the end of the day, the biggest difference between the second and third seed, not that much. However, both of these teams, they're competitors. They want to walk away going into the championship bracket with another win in their belt. So in terms of their confidence building, it's big.
Team England made no bones about wanting to come into this game 2-0, and they did so thanks to a huge performance by Olivia Hump.
Olivia Hump, she burst onto the international stage in 2016. Coming out of her collegiate career at Princeton. She's a little bit unconventional, but it's her workforce, her efforts all over the field that does a great job. Team
Canada, they had to relish the day off yesterday. No weather delays for the still incredible Dana Dobie.
Dana Dobie, she is forever young. She continues to dazzle everyone with her stick work on the field. But ultimately, what's most impressive is her game, her creativity. She has an incredibly high IQ.
Lots of eyes on and attention to this clash. England and Canada. It should be a treat.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for the sweat, the tears, the pride, and for the celebration we share.
When I reach for a stick, it's like I'm shaking hands with history. Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
It's more than a game to me. It's a gift to be a positive force in young athletes' lives. And I'm thankful I can help the next generation develop a love for the sport.
When I was his age, those moments on the field meant everything. Thank you for giving us a way to stay connected, even as they get older.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
You give me the opportunity to fuel aspirations
and to ignite potential.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
safer,
and wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
for everyone.
It's coming. The world is coming to San Diego. 30 nations, 30 teams. Only one will be crowned world champion. There's nothing like playing for your country. This is the pinnacle of sport. Be here as legacies are forged and history is made.
Ready to rumble at the World Lacrosse Women's World Championships here at Unitas Stadium. It's England and Canada. Canada's bench boss, Scott Teeter, his squad coming in the second seeds with a mark of 1-1, squaring off with England and head coach Phil Collier. Phil's team 2-0, trying to upset Canada tonight and getting an important piece of the puzzle back, perhaps. This is Laura Merrifield, who did not play in the first two games for Team England. She warmed up tonight. Courtney, she looked terrific. The reports are she suffered a minor injury last week in practice. We expect to see her soon. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow against Team USA. It sounds like it's for certain by the time the championship bracket begins on Tuesday.
Regardless whether she steps on the field tonight, that would obviously be a huge boost for Canada. But just being on the sideline, cheering, and being the mentor that she is always of good help.
All-world Team England performer Laura Merrifield watching as Kay Morissette, number 6 in the white for Canada. England is in the red. Liv Wimpenny trying to win the draw with the help of Megan Whittle. Whittle running stride for stride there with the defender. Midfielder Brooklyn Walker-Welch, who plays D at North Carolina, recent national champion. Walker-Welch makes the strip on Whittle, and Canada's defense is off to a really good start. Peroni will advance this. Closing in Cordingley. There's a whistle before Jimerson was stopped point blank. In cage for Team England, it's Britt Reid. Britt, who was a captain at Oregon, first 3 years of her college career in the States, spent at the University of Louisville. She's an assistant coach presently with the University of Denver. Aurora Cordingley has the free position shot. Cordingley, surrounded by English defenders, will settle in. It's 6-on-6 inside the restraining line in the World Championships. The teams play 10-on-10. Roster size 18. There is no shot clock. Gliding in Evans, fires, kick save by Britt Reid. She went to the split to make that denial.
As we watch this excellent save by Britt Reid, stepping to the ball, exploding towards where that shot is coming from. That's a sign of a good keeper. And all eyes are there, and they're cutting away the angle every step of the way. What I like is Canada attacking the cage hard and fast, but the acceleration down the field by Team England, huge.
Tilly Shires will spot the open Georgina Southorn. Picked up on the perimeter there by Boissonneau. Feed to the inside. Whittle stings the corner.
Megan Whittle picking back up where she left off.
Throughout the tournament, she's been dynamite.
Megan Whittle wearing number 23. She has done such a great job of putting herself in the best possible position, whether it's dodging with the ball in her stick to begin with or cutting off ball. As we just saw, Megan Whittle was a prolific scorer in college. At Maryland, she won 2 national championships. However, at the international stage, being a part of Team England, it's where her mother was born. She has done such a great job of stepping in besides living stateside.
A multi-goal scorer in both outings. She had 5 against Australia, 3 more against Scotland. The English side defeating Scotland 18-7 in what was a weather-shortened game. England has control of the ball. The English side knocked off Australia in its tournament opener. It was a great fourth quarter that provided the impetus to that win. A 1-0 lead early against Canada. Sifting through the traffic, Shires was decked by Morissette. This, the opening salvo, with the Whittle getting right to the heart of the Canadian defense. Free position shot now for Tilly Shires. Walks in, tried to fold it over. She was attacked there and fouled for another free position shot. Shires, who is a threat to score. Coach Collier says she cuts so very well to the goal. She makes and presents a nice target for feeders. Shires going to the net, fires this one, and Halsall kicked it out. Cam Halsall, who has definitely established herself as the #1 goalie, no questions for Canada.
As we see this hard challenge by Team England again, Halsall with the kick save, standing tall, not jumping, holding position. The defense of Canada so very stingy and physical.
Shires turns the corner, ran into a rough check from Emily Boissonneau, currently the head coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Boissonneau 15 in the white. On the move, Farram, Claire Farram, who's the captain for Team England. Let's switch it outside for Whittle. She'll isolate, working in. Whittle on the move, flexes this one down low, ricochet off the post. Farram's follow-up, she dumped it wide. Team England possession court.
Cutters inside, Joe, are getting open by setting picks, moving screens off of one another. Canada needs to step out, deny those cuts from happening by getting their body in front.
Almost 6 minutes into the opening frame, Claire Farram forced away defensively by Erica Evans. There's a whistle right at the top of the 11-meter fan in the World Championships.
Again, we see that ball squeaking through the middle. It didn't find anyone stick initially, yet still hit off the post.
Officials, Lenka Peshkova, the lead official from the Czech Republic. That one rattles around off the iron as well. Halsall starts the clear for Canada. The Canadians trailing in the early going by one. Team England on the board. Megan Whittle with her 9th goal of the tournament in far less than 3 games. Peroni jogs it ahead, and the Canadians will settle in. Allie Jimerson, her sister Jalen, has been playing with the Haudenosaunee Nation. 29 teams in this event. Originally scheduled to be 30, the largest of its kind in the World Championships. Baxter right downtown, snapped it high. Uganda not able to attend due to challenges in the visa process. Feed it over for Baxter, move it to Dana Doby. Doby goes behind the back, that's picked off. Well read by Liv Wimpenny as Wimpenny looks to counterattack. There's a whistle.
Some great defense right here. All eyes are on Dana Doby. She's so great with her stick. However, defense tracked it down. Referees brought the ball back to the spot of the foul. As in international rules, the feet have to be set before you can have a restart, different than NCAA rules.
Back in 2017, Courtney, Canada won 4 of 5 games in pool play. There were 6 teams in Pool A in 2017 in England. Wales was the additional one. Pool A this time around, England, Canada, United States, Australia, and Scotland. Farram pulls the trigger, but the whistle will deny that goal. A foul was assessed prior.
We talk about the physicality of the women's game. Right here, contact each and every spot, but that foul was due to a shooting space call.
No conversion there on the free position shot. Peroni glides ahead for Canada, looking for a fast break numbers advantage. Accordingly drifting in, feeds for Doby, behind the back flick. Snap shot, Peroni too high, and she got flattened.
Surprised there wasn't a foul on the shot right there. Referees allowing it to play on.
Doby off the restart. Settling in 6-on-6, Nicole Peroni. 2023 will be her senior year at the University of Louisville. Her senior team national coach is Scott Teeter, just like in college, as Reid makes a routine save there. Britt Reid's off to a good start in goal for Team England.
As we watch this, Dana Doby, all eyes are on her because she can create with an around-the-world pass. Ultimately, a lot of contact inside of that critical scoring area. Joe, I expect this back-and-forth game to continue the entire time. The implications are big. Again, walking away with this win means a ton of confidence, but whether you had that 2nd or 3rd seed.
Whichever team wins this game, likely to finish no lower than 2nd in pool play. Team England in the red has a date with the Idol United States squad tomorrow. That's a 5 p.m. game that you can see on ESPN+. Whittle has the lone goal. England has the advantage. Torres Anderson has the ball off of a 5-point game. Anderson was dynamite against Scotland. An 18-7 triumph that was weather shortened. Southorn in a defensive tussle with Boissonneau. Boissonneau comes up with the ground ball, and she'll find Brooklyn Walker-Welch. That pass is too tall for Peroni. No harm done. Picked up at midfield by Cordingley. Tewaaraton Award finalist was stick-checked a long way from the goal. Stopped in her tracks by Liv Thomas. Courtney, both you and Rachel DeCecco have said it. You love the bounce and the step of Aurora Cordingley. It's like she's playing with springs in her shoes.
Have you ever seen the gymnastics floor that they jump on, it's like she has that everywhere she goes, that little extra bounce due to some springs.
In tight, the drive from Kinna, rejected again by Reid. Britt Reid's outlet pass on one skip works out just fine. Emma Oakley with speed. Oakley to the top of the fan, closing. Doesn't elect to shoot. Keeps it back behind the cage where it'll be taken off the turf by Georgina Southorn. She relieved of the ball by Boissonneau, who alertly sends it to Halsall.
Emily Boissonneau for Team Canada, number 15. Been so incredibly impressed with her play. She's the head coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Pitt just had their very first collegiate season. They did very well, but I'm sure all of her players who are watching her right now do as I say, not as I do. In this case, she definitely wants her defensive players playing like she is. She's tough, she's physical, she gets on the hands of the attackers, and she's been able to create some caused turnovers.
Thought by many to be the strongest player on the Canadian squad, physically that is, as Jimerson moves the ball, playing catch with Bianca Chevery. Chevery trying to turn on Emily Gray. Megan Kinna from the top sends it wide of Britt Reid, backed up there by Cordingley on the end line. Running time in the first 14.5 minutes of each of the first 3 quarters. Stop time in the last 2 minutes of regulation. Another save for Reid. That's her 4th in the first 12 minutes. And Courtney, you've seen this before last summer in Athletes Unlimited. When Reid gets dialed in, she can be tough to beat.
Britt was one of the toughest goalkeepers that we saw in Athletes Unlimited. Confident, and oftentimes starts the offense, which we're seeing here for Team England. She gets that outlet pass nice and quick and is able to create for her team sometimes numbers in their favor. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Season 2 coming up soon in a couple of weeks' time. You'll see it on ESPN, the family of networks. On the interchange, Southorn guarded by Boissonneau. Georgina turns. There's a good trail check, putting the ball down on the turf. Wimpenny comes up with it, bouncing off of Child. She ran into some traffic and is fouled. This will be a yellow card, 2-minute time serving. Team Canada will be playing 1 player down. Boissonneau gets the gate. Free position shot to come. From the 11-meter fan, England will drag it out. Wimpenny wants to go 6-on-5 here. These are full serve cards, regardless of the amount of goals you score while playing a player up. Full serve for 2 minutes. In the final 2 minutes of the opening quarter. When you're a player up, you want to share the ball, you want to move it quickly, find that open player. Looks like Canada electing to leave a person inside.
Hump to the cage, Olivia Hump.
As we watch the player up offense, Canada allowing players on the inside as England moves the ball quickly, but ultimately finding that 1v9 with the goalkeeper. Their shooting has been on par the last few times as they bring the ball down and have good looks at cage. They're sighting it well, ultimately ending with the first 2 goals of the quarter, which is just about done. I think a surprise for Canada at this point. They've had solid looks, but in goal, Britt Reid has just been coming up with some amazing saves.
A little less than 40 seconds remaining in the player up for Team England. Olivia Hump, her offensive game awakened in that win over Scotland with 5 goals. This is the player who led England in goals and points in the World Championships back in 2017. Wimpenny and Morissette on the draw. Morissette popped it to herself, but the officials are going to award the possession to England. Scott Teeter was telling us he allows Morissette and Doby to decide which of those 2 draw specialists are going to take the ensuing draw.
I mean, they're veterans at that point. You trust that they know whether or not they're winning it.
Whittle's pass, just a little tall for Ferrum. Tracking it down on the end line, it'll be whistled out of play, so that's a turnover to Canada. Halsall drags it along. Baxter, who plays collegiately at Syracuse, in the final 8 ticks. Peroni's a feed. That's intercepted by Wimpenny. The lead to Southorn with 1 second to go. And that's the end of the opening frame. England on top by 2. A very highly anticipated lacrosse match. This is the 2022 World Lacrosse Women's World Championship on ESPN. Both sides with plenty of supporters. Merrifield still acting as the top cheerleader, with England out in front, blanking Canada through 15 thanks to Britt Reid. Stadium lights are starting to take effect here at Unitas Stadium in Towson, Maryland. We're soon to begin the second quarter of this Pool A play between England and Canada. Team England a 2-0 advantage after 15 minutes. Coach Collier's squad already with a couple of wins banked and leading Canada, and still with the U.S. tomorrow, Court.
Both of these teams, we knew that they would have a battle on the field. It's going to be very physical. It could be high scoring, but with the amazing plays of the goalkeepers, they're keeping things close.
Scott Teeter, Gary Gate there on the sideline for Canada, a squad that is 1-1. The decision to fall, or they fell to the U.S. by a 16-11 decision. Very good game in the tournament opener back on Wednesday night. 110 games total before it's all said and done. 29 different entries. They're battling now for seeding in the championship bracket. That's the round of 16. Play will begin in that bracket on Tuesday. 2-0 for England. Goals from Whittle and Hump, as you might expect. The English side's 2 best goal scorers have struck in the opening 15. Surprisingly, high-powered Canada held off the board at a very sharp opening quarter in goal from Britt Reid. Moving it to the interior, it's Baxter. Aurora accordingly has possession. Face dodge move to the interior, wide open. There's Reid again, shutting the door on Baxter.
Joe, I think Canada just needs to take an extra second and really think about where they're shooting the ball.
Reid's aggressive style, treating her extremely well. No shot clock, 6-on-6 inside the restraining line. Aurora accordingly working back behind the cage, picked up by Emily Knowles, who plays collegiately in the United States at North Carolina. 3-year starter, her senior year will be 2023.
Aurora has the ability to take her defensive player on 1v1 because she has such a quick change of direction.
Evans to the goal, she scores! Erica Evans.
Erica Evans for Team Canada, number 11. Her speed was one of her biggest strengths when she played at the University of Maryland after transferring from Canisius. Dominant lefty. She used that open lane to the middle side. A lot of two-man game we'll see throughout the entire offense for Team Canada. They work together. The coaches talked about they can put the team together, they can give them basics, but it's ultimately on the team to build that chemistry on the field.
Canadian fans have seen Evans do that a time or two. Coach Collier, Coach Gate, they say that everything at the offensive end seems to run through her. Accordingly gets control of the draw possession, and England has a 2-1 advantage now, led 2-0 after 15. Evans trimming that lead in half, and accordingly goes right back to work against Knowles. Evans from the wing. Move it to the interior. That shovel pass from Peroni crossed up Evans. They chase for the ground ball. Emma Oakley is in there. So too Emily Gray for red-clad England. Whistle comes. The officials going to give the ball right back to Canada. The pass inside. Ooh! Doby was flattened by Chloe Chan. Down in a heap goes Dana Doby. Dana picks herself back up and walks it off.
Joe, it looked like that contact came from the side and or behind. She wasn't able to see that approaching defender. As soon as she turned, it's like a shoulder right into the chest by Chloe Chan, potentially knocking the wind out of her.
Giving Dana a pretty long leash to recover, as she'll get set for a 11-meter fan free position shot. She has a wicked left-handed release. Waiting for the whistle. And the lightning bolt upstairs. Doby says, take that.
Dana Doby, one of the true leaders on this Canadian senior national team. After getting knocked to the ground, it can take some time to collect yourself. Ultimately, that shot proved, I'm fine, I'm good, and I'm ready to go. Firing up her team right there. We see the energy that she brings. I talked about her youthfulness. She is like a kid on the field. I love it.
Dana Doby. Digest this player profile. Tremendous days at the University of Maryland in College Park. Some, I'd say 35, 45 minutes away from where we are at Towson. In a 2-2 game, Doby and Evans, two of the faces of Canadian lacrosse, back-to-back after Whittle and Hump. All of the big players in this big game are on the board already, it seems. Going to the goal, snapshot score. On the run, Liv Thomas. Anything you can do, Dana, I can do just the same.
Liv Thomas for Team Canada. This is her first time with the senior team. We see that the slides coming from Team Canada, they were a bit late. She saw that open lane with defense jogging in right there. Not everyone was set and ready, and that's oftentimes the best times to attack, when the defense is not there, they're not prepared, they're not communicating, and that's when you want to make sure to catch them by surprise.
An extremely physical game in the first 20 minutes. 3-2 for England with Liv Thomas on the board. Very strong between the restraining lines, the scouting report says about her. Nice catch on the sideline there. Erica Evans sprints away from Liv Thomas. Help coming from the English defender Charlie Wilson. It'll stay Canada ball. Running time until we have 30 seconds left in each of the first 3 quarters. Earlier today, Team Australia downing Team Scotland. The Aussies getting their first win at the end of their pool play. They're finishing up 1-3. Scotland still has a date with Canada. England with the United States tomorrow. That's a 5 p.m. start on ESPN+.
When you think of the women's lacrosse game, that it's a non-contact sport, but yet there's a lot of contact. It's a physical game. It's a powerful, strong game, but yet also very pretty at the same time with the stick work. The fact that there's not as big of a pocket in a women's stick that there is a men's stick.
There's our twin bill for tomorrow, right side of your screen. More collisions. Hump goes down heavily. She was hammered by Lydia Sutton, who's the captain of Team Canada. They both get some of the kinks out. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Joe Beninati and Courtney Martinez-Connor with you from Unitas Stadium. Hump feeds inside. Southorn checked there by Walker Welch. Still England ball. This is day 5 of the Women's World Championships. Big shout out of thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew, doing a lot of heavy lifting to make us look good. Hump with Sutton, hesitates, turns the corner, runs right into the double of Baxter. Slingshot score! They're jumping for joy on the English side. They built the lead back up to 2.
Team Canada utilizing their offense together well. They're setting picks. They're giving space to one another. They're drawing a double, which allows for teammates to step up. Emily Gray right there with the rocket shot. She actually had time, room, and space due to the double team drawn by her teammate. We're seeing a lot of different offensive dodges coming from Team England, different sets, keeping Canada on their toes. And right now they're struggling to slide and move collectively.
Emily Gray, who scored against Scotland on Saturday, gets the 4th on the night for England, and Coach Collier asks for the timeout. Each team is afforded 2 of those throughout the 90 minutes of regulation. Those 2 timeouts do not carry over to overtime should we need to settle this game after regulation. As the coach gathers his troops into the classroom. Likewise, on the Canadian side, Courtney, when we were sizing up this matchup, we knew that Canada would be the most difficult challenge to this point for the English defense. How have they fared so far?
I think they've done a great job. They're communicating, they're moving like a well-oiled machine. You know, generally, Canada is very solid defensively, but we see assistant coach Caitlin Watkins talking emphatically to the group about what they need to do. Emily Boissonneau one of the leaders for Canada, just saying how they need to change what they're doing and go back to initially when they started this second quarter.
On the Canadian side, we've heard from Evans, we've heard from Doby. That means it's almost time for the curtain to rise for Aurora Cordingley.
And she can take over a game. Aurora Cordingley does such a great job. Her change of direction, her spins, her jabs. Do we see that right there? She can change directions on a dime. Her quickness off the line is incredibly fast, but she's not just a goal scorer. She can assist, her head is up. She's a team player. So if Canada gets back into this game, it comes from a trio, not from any one person, but Aurora does have that capability.
Slight in stature, but she is not afraid to go to the goal and go there with gusto. Couple of goals against Australia, couple of goals and a couple of helpers against the United States. Cordingley will be a factor in this game before too long. It's just a matter of time. But England, in the meantime, intent on pulling the upset, and they seem more than capable at this point of 4-2 advantage. England is seeded third. They are the reigning European champs. They were the bronze medalists in the World Championships of 2017. Canada, the number 2 seed, the runners-up to the United States each of the last 2 times this event has been contested. On the wing, it's Jimerson. She glides back behind the goal. Fenced in there by Wimpenny. Cordingley against Knowles. Here comes the help. Move it for Kinna, then Doby over the top. Score! A terrific goal for Jimerson.
Allie Jimerson, Dana Doby, 2 players who've been on this team for quite some time. We see the double team drawn by Aurora Cordingley. Dana Doby, her eyes are everywhere. She knows where her teammates are cutting. She knows that weak side. And I love the composure by Jimerson. Looked like her foot may have stepped into the crease.
It was close.
But regardless, that's a goal for Canada. They've closed the gap to within 1. And that's another player for Team Canada. She has such capabilities offensively. We see that her leg is wrapped. There's a lot of games in a few amount of days. So making sure that they can get her involved as much as possible is going to be key.
Potentially, for those that make the gold and bronze medal games, 8 games in 11 days. When you add it all up, Morissette gets the draw. Jimerson, a Native American of the Cayuga Nation. She's played for the Haudenosaunee Confederacy in the past. In fact, when she did in the World Championships play for the Haudenosaunee, she did so with her mom on the team. There is, in fact, I do believe, one mother-daughter combo in the event this season playing for Team Sweden. A total of 29 nations involved, the largest World Championships for the women of all time. Cordingley worked over by Knowles. Outstanding defense a long way from the cooker. Cordingley going again, drawing 2 defenders. Stick check by Knowles, ball down. The cause turnover. It's still coming up now for Cordingley. Face dodge, Jimerson flushed out by Reid. Reid has been very aggressive, stepping out on the angle in those one-on-one situations. She's got a half a dozen stops already in the first half. Cordingley turns a corner, score!
Aurora Cordingley does such a great job of getting herself free. They set her up for a high elbow dodge. That didn't work out. They overloaded another side. We talk about her being very great working from X meaning behind the goal cage. And at one point, it seems like she's not even going to bother shooting. A double team comes. She's falling to the ground. She's been knocked down, but her eyes are on the cage. Now Team Canada is really sighting where they're shooting the ball. They're not just throwing it at the goal. They're really looking at what the open net is behind Britt Reid, and that's what's most important, taking that extra second. But for Aurora, that was while she was falling to the ground as well.
Courtney, as anticipated, we've got ourselves a really good game, and it's on the teeter-totter. England had the first 2, Canada the next 2. England the next 2, Canada the last 2. And we are 4-4. Canada in white gets possession of the draw. Morissette brings it to the midline. with Hump ready to converge on her, as well as Liv Thomas. 3 minutes and change to go in the opening half. Low scoring, but highly entertaining. Brenna Shanahan, one of the defenders for Canada, was fouled. Jimerson will walk it in. Annabelle Child is 26 in the white. Megan Kinna has the ball right now. Slicing in against Oakley. The pitch for Dobie that gets away. The officials are going to keep it with Canada.
We see the space that Canada is creating. They're really spreading the field, allowing for those one-on-one dodges to come, as well as a two-man cut from the opposite side of the field. Super smart in spreading out the defense. It's just a 6-on-6, so the slides are coming from a much farther position.
Child puts this one down on the ground. Accordingly comes up. No shot clock, 2 minutes to go in the half. We'll play stop time for the last 30 seconds. In a 4-4 draw, Jimerson and Cordingley back-to-back, leveling the count for Canada. Cordingley going to the goal, more whistles.
Shooting space on Canada. They were sliding to Aurora Cordingley, making sure to stop her dodge. However, she's giving an 11-meter free position shot.
Straight on, head on against Britt Reid, who's been dynamite in the first half. Cordingley steps out of it.
Rightly so. Canada was subbing. Haven't had huge success unless your name is Dana Dobie on that 11-meter with her rocket shot. So electing instead to run their settled offense, which has scored them the last 2 goals.
Jimerson flips. Peroni takes it. Pawns it off to Cordingley. Puts the face dodge on. Not fooling the likes of Emily Knowles. Peroni comes to get it against Chan on the flip to Evans. Evans forced back. Great defense for England. Liv Thomas on the job. Peroni off the split dodge right into Chan. Dobie winds and fires! Forget it!
Nicole Peroni assisting Dana Dobie on this last one. She has 1 more year of play at Louisville. As we see the signature, flipping the ball from one side to the other, finally kicking it out to an elbow. Team England was cheating a little bit to the inside, not thinking the ball was going to be passed to the far side. Dana Dobie ready and waiting, asking for that ball.
That last replay look that we showed, Britt Reid, you could see her drop down and spring load back up. In just that amount of time, with a cannon shot like Dobie, you're not going to be able to react.
No time, no. It's too quick of a shot and too accurate of a shot. 2
phenomenal strikes for Dobie among the 5 for Canada. Team Canada has its first lead on the night in the final 20 seconds of this opening half. Many folks believe this would be the best of the games in the Pool A play. Saved for a Sunday night on the eve of the 4th of July. And it has not disappointed. 10 seconds left. Peroni flips once more. Gets it back with time ticking inside. Baxter!
As the clock was winding down, just a second left when it was released from Maddie Baxter's stick. Maddie Baxter, another youngster for Team Canada. Nicole Peroni, eyes are up. Loved that she had the wherewithal to make sure she was sending a cut. They needed options inside with just about no time on the clock and changing up how they're shooting. A bouncer, excellent.
The last of 6 second quarter goals for the Canadians, 4 in succession. They lead by 2 after 2 quarters. Halftime festivities coming up.
Yo, do you know I've seen it all before. There goes Tiger, just as sharp from the bended knee. My main man, Money the King. There ain't nothing I ain't seen.
Okay, old school. Have you seen someone ball like John Morant? You know you can't. You've never seen anyone like a thing. The point guard queen, Sky, or Chloe Kim. Do you know there's never been anyone else like them? Look, OG, no disrespect. I know you think you've seen everything, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Checkmate.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for the sweat, the tears, the pride, and for the celebration we share.
When I reach for a stick, it's like I'm shaking hands with history. Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
It's more than a game to me. It's a gift to be a positive force in young athletes' lives. And I'm thankful I can help the next generation develop a love for the sport.
When I was his age, those moments on the field meant everything. Thank you for giving us a way to stay connected, even as they get older.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
You give me the opportunity to fuel aspirations
and to ignite potential.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
Safer.
and wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
For everyone.
There are low-angle looks, and then there's worm camp on the turf here at Unitas Stadium. After 30 minutes of play, Team Canada has the 6-4 advantage. Courtney joins me on the other side for highlights. Done with 2 quarters of play at Unitas Stadium in Towson, Maryland. Sickle moon overhead, and Canada on top by 2 after 30. Joe Beninati and Courtney Martinez-Connor with you, enjoying Women's World Championship action. And in this game, we went back and forth for quite a while until Canada decided to step on the gas. Why were they able to stretch it out at the end of that second quarter?
You know, the biggest part was winning the draw, but most importantly, all of their big guns started to get involved. Aurora Cordingley, Jayla Jimerson, Dana Doby. They just really started to shoot more accurately and get good looks at the cage.
As we get to the highlights, the first quarter was a goaltending clinic from Britt Reid.
Britt Reid, I love her ability to just hold her positioning in the goal and then really explode to the ball. It's all about not jumping. She has a knee brace on. I'm not sure what that's about, but it is not prohibiting her from playing how she can.
Dana Doby shoots nothing but BBs.
Dana Doby, so very accurate in her shots, but her energy is felt by everyone from the stands to her teammates. And I think she's a big, big reason, not just because of her shooting abilities, but because of her ability to get everyone excited for what's going on the field.
Numbers-wise, Canada turned it up in the second quarter, and as a result, they lead in shots overall.
You have to be shooting the ball in order to score goals, and Canada is certainly doing that. 16 compared to 9. Also, you look at the biggest difference. England, 5 saves, 1 save for Canada. So credit England's defense, but most importantly, Britt Reid for that.
Alrighty, give us a chance to catch our breath. We'll bring you quarter number 3 in just a few moments. Wake up, Lion, wake up!
We want the gold medal. We've been dreaming of it our entire lives. But this summer, we want more. We have an opportunity together to change the sport and women's athletics for the better. The eyes of the lacrosse community will be on us. Never has this sport been more popular. Never has this platform been bigger. So what's this about? A team of talented women with a shared goal. Inspiring a new generation, one whose identity is a sense of pride and not a limitation. Relentlessly pursuing equity in our sport and beyond. We want the greatness of all women's athletes to shine. The world will be watching. Let's put on a show. This is more than a medal. Are you with us?
Fasten your seatbelt.
The game you've always loved just found a new gear.
Introducing World Lacrosse Sixes.
It's speed and scoring.
Tempo and transition.
Athleticism and action.
It's big-time energy packed onto a smaller playing surface.
It's the game you've always loved, brought to you at warp speed.
It's lacrosse on the Autobahn.
Don't blink. This is World Lacrosse Sixes.
You are watching the 2022 World Lacrosse Women's World Championship on ESPN. Sun setting here in Towson, Maryland, over Unitas Stadium, where Canada has raced back and taken a 2-goal lead over England after 2 quarters. This is the way things stack up in Pool A, Courtney, and we have a whole bunch of possible combinations. The United States is idle today. They're on top, but they haven't clinched first by any stretch. They still have to play England tomorrow.
Today, tomorrow, these are big days for United States, England, Canada. I do foresee those 3 as the top 3 seeds. It's just a matter of who and where.
You could have a 3-way tie if it shakes out that way. If the United States wins tomorrow against England, they'll take care of business. And win Pool A and be the top seed in the championship bracket. The championship bracket, 16 teams of the 29 that have been entered in this World Championships. This is Pool A. Canada, England, United States, Australia, and Scotland. Earlier today, the Aussies on this field downed Scotland. Hannah Nielsen was the player of the game. There were a lot of heroes for Trish and Jen Adams and the Aussie bunch. Right off the jump, it's Evans looking to feed inside. This one deflected by Jimerson and corralled by Britt Reid. Reid stays between the pipes for head coach Phil Collier. Katie Greenwood is her understudy. At the other end of the field, it's Cam Halsall, who's back up on the bench is Cassidy Eckert in goal. Tors Anderson in the red for England with Olivia Hump. Hump has Shanahan stuck to her. It was Whittle and Hump who gave England the 2-0 advantage. Canada with a big second quarter, 6 goals big. Couple of markers from Dana Doby, helping to fuel the fire. Anderson drawing a double, feed it inside. Score! Claire Farram.
Canada getting on the board first. Excuse me, England getting on the board first. We look at this patience. Offensively, setting things up. Tors Anderson finding Lydia Sutton inside. As she collected that ball, she was under pressure of a double team. So to maintain control, drop her stick, look at changing the levels, all very difficult to do while cutting and moving full speed on the field. But positionally, if you look at Lydia Sutton, a defensive player who's now bumped up to play some midfield.
Farram, who did not play in 2017 in the World Championships, she was a reserve on that English side. Anna Featherstone and Tilly Foster are the alternates on this year's English roster, 18 players per side. Morissette gets the draw for white-jerseyed Canada, and she'll get clearing help from Emily Boissonneau. Chased down by her opposite, number 15, Liv Thomas. Canada settles in 6-on-6 at this end of the field in a 6-5 ball game. Accordingly, angling in against Knowles. Aurora floats it over the top. Peroni, slick moves off the sweep, fire, score! Nicole Peroni right back at you.
Nicole Peroni this time putting herself in the goal category. She's had 2 assists previously. Again, sharing the ball. Defensively right there, just a lazy switch off ball. That's what gave her a step on her defensive player. All the players on the field looking to change their level, which is very important when 2 goalies are hot, especially Britt Reid, who's done such a great job of matching stick for stick high, changing it up down low. It's been a little bit different. Oftentimes, it's just one little tweak, one little hesitation before taking that next shot.
Peroni candidly says that she hopes to be the next Erica Evans for Team Canada. Morissette on the draw, opposite of Liv Thomas. Ball down, accordingly away to the races. No numbers advantage, so she'll pull it out for a 6-on-6. Knowles is right there in her hip pocket. We approach the 5-minute mark of the third. Joe and Courtney with you. Top of the hour time with the World Lacrosse Women's World Championship on ESPN. 3 cheers for all the men and women in our technical crew. Big shout out of thanks to USA Lacrosse for all their help with World Lacrosse and this logistics. As it is Britt Reid showing off in the cage all night long.
As England is looking to clear this ball up safely, we see Britt Reid again high on her arc, but it's working for her, changing things up. What she's doing in the goal cage, coming out far, cutting away that angle from any of the Canadian attackers looking to shoot. When you're coming around the crease, If you are shooting high, that's exactly where your goalie is ready and waiting for you.
Whittle against Walker Welch. Megan Whittle has been kept quiet by Severn in the white. Sharp angle, score! A sliver of space for Olivia Hump.
Olivia Hump for England. Again, we talk about her. Megan Whittle finding her down low. That unconventional, she's not looking to be flashy. She's just looking to get the job done. Almost a goal line extended. Not a lot of angle right there, but composure when receiving that, seeing what's in front of her, pulling England to within one after Canada had their big second quarter.
How about the intensity in those eyes of Olivia Hump? 7-6 now. Team Canada in front. Thomas and Morissette inside the circle. Canada has won 10 of the first 15 as this one comes bounding back down to the turf. Morissette eventually gets control. Drops it off to Walker Welch. Back and forth we have gone in this game, and back and forth we have gone on the scoreboard again in the third quarter. Boissonneau looks for cover and then finds the helping cross of Aurora Cordingley. Almost midway in the third. Lights starting to take full effect now here at Unitas Stadium. On the move, Chevery lost the handle. Chasing her, it's Emily Gray. Chevery recovers on the feed. Child, move it this way. Kenna fires. Reid, strong as ever.
Megan Kenna actually had a lot of room to be able to run that shot in. She looked to show her depth, her range. Very hard to shoot from downtown. Britt Reid was all over that save.
At least 7 stops in this game for Britt Reid. Many of them have been extra special. 7.5 to go in the third. This one's shaping up to be a white knuckler between number 2 seed Canada and number 3 seed England. England at 2-0 in pool play, Canada at 1-1. The loss to the United States that opened the tournament on Wednesday night. Bringing the week to a close, weekend, this holiday weekend, with the 4th of July Monday awaiting. Team USA returns to the field tomorrow. They'll play against England at 5 o'clock. Canada, they have a date with Scotland. That's tomorrow at 8. They'll be back under the lights. Annabelle Child does a little bit of everything and a whole lot of the dirty work in terms of ground balls for Canada. Sweeping across the top of the fan. Fakes the flip. Child fires. Score! Annabelle Child.
Annabelle Child plays collegiately at Harvard. She has a few more years there. A great two-way player for Canada. Just as you had mentioned, she's not just a between-the-lines player, but she is a Dodger as well. Running through some tough contact there. She's able to gain a step off of that pick. Coming away with it, shooting low and away. It's always a goalie's Achilles heel.
Yet another outstanding product of the Hill Academy. North of the border, Annabelle Child was the valedictorian of the Hill Academy. Then making her way, as you said, to Ivy League Harvard. Morissette back inside the circle. It's a 2-goal lead for Canada. Morissette helping to win that draw. Accordingly, takes it off the turf. It's been a very good showing in the draw circle for Kay Morissette. We've barely seen, if at all, Dana Dobie.
Joe, if it's not broken, they're definitely not going to even attempt to try and fix it, especially since Dana and Kay Morissette, it's their call. They decide what's happening on the field.
Coaches leave them be. This ball down, Dobie hearing the whistle, Dana with a couple of strikes in the first half. Both of them left-handed rips. Here she comes again from the 11-meter fan. Goes behind the back, beautiful, off the crossbar. She set up that Child effort. Annabelle rings the iron. Accordingly on the hop. Feed it inside. Reid makes a stick save there at point-blank range. Outstanding lacrosse game shaping up between England and Canada at both ends of the field. Anderson going against Shanahan. Floated away there. That one off the top of the cross. Walker Welch says thanks. Brooklyn has it for Canada.
As we watch on your lower left side right there, behind the back pass to her teammate off the post. And then another big save for Britt Reid in cage. Coming out of the defensive end, we have Walker Welch picking up that ball, clearing it safely over the restraining line. Joe, we talk a lot about the back and forth. It's tough for the players on the field, definitely tough for the midfielders. We know that Canada runs two different midi lines. And then you have Team England, who said they are at their deepest point than they've ever been at the midfield position.
Feel like they have 7 or 8 more in the stable that they could have brought in that will be ready for the next World Championships. Jimerson on the hop, drops it off to Peroni. We're 6-on-6 at this end of the field. It's 10-on-10 in the World Championships. There is no shot clock. A little bit more than 3 minutes to go in quarter 3 of a really good game. Accordingly, feeds inside, turns, Reid! Dynamite again, follow-up score! If at first you don't succeed, try again. Reid has been ridiculous in this game.
Excellent vision by Aurora accordingly. In turn, another great save by Britt Reid. High to high, her eyes are all over it, but ultimately that was that little check, and Maddie Baxter picking up the junk in front of the goal, making sure she is putting that next one away. Britt Reid doing everything she can to keep England in this game right now. Point-blank saves, but when an opportunity comes out, you have to come up with the ball defensively.
Canada now with its largest lead, 9-6. With 2 minutes and 18 seconds time running. We'll stop time with less than 30 to go in this frame and with less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Knowles comes up with a ground ball. Much needed now for England. They need possessions. They need to get back on the board. That usually means you cue Megan Whittle. The feed inside, just sent wide. Knowles called her own number. It's backed up by Anderson. Closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the field, earns the backup possession.
Love the confidence that Emily Knowles had right there. She's just fresh off of winning a national championship with UNC, and she had speed, she had numbers, she had the space, and obviously she had the confidence.
Courtney, for the most part, it's been Brooklyn Walker Welch side by side, me in my shadow with Megan Whittle. What can Megan do to break free there?
It's having a teammate set a pick for you, working hard to get open. Instances like that, Walker Welch was needing to slide to ball because her teammate had been beaten. So Megan setting picks for opposing players, players setting picks for her. That's how she's going to become more involved.
See if Hump can get things going from behind the cage. She works in against captain of Canada, Lydia Sutton. Sutton, Shanahan, Boissonneau, and Morissette expected to be the primary defenders for Team Canada. Here comes Whittle, downhill on Walker Welch, gets underneath, and hets it off the outside. It's outside of the frame, no goal there. Paul Saul has 10 seconds to leave that goalie circle. 35 ticks remaining in the third. Canada fell behind by 2, rallied to take a 6-4 lead at the half. They have the last 2 goals on the board and a 9-6 advantage. Baxter streaking to the net. Off the feed here, walking in point blank. Reid, yet another save as she stonewalled Hannah Morris. Britt Reid playing about as well as you can in net for England. final ticks. Oakley plays it ahead. Fareham at the buzzer. No shooting chance there for England. We are done with 45 minutes. Team Canada and Team England seeded numbers 2 and 3 respectively in this tournament. For the English side, they'll need 3. Britt Reid has been her best between the pipes, and yet Canada has the advantage going to the 4th. Tell your friends this game is shaping up to be a work of art. Canada has a 9-6 advantage over England after 3 quarters of play, and Britt Reid has been bouncy and really good in that goal circle for England.
Britt Reid has done a great job keeping her team in this game. England's defense has been solid, but Britt Reid has been amazing, holding position, exploding, taking away angles, smothering the ball, and then starting the offense quickly by getting her outlets out fast.
Weather has been terrific for this game tonight. Reid with 10 stops. Yesterday, there were several severe weather delays. Courtney, I would imagine Team England is okay with the rain and the severe weather, considering their climate back home from time to time.
It has to feel like home for them.
These temperatures tonight in the low 80s, very comfortable for lacrosse.
From sticks, bagging out in the rain, all of those things, I just think they have more of a comfortable sense than any other team just because they probably play in it so often.
The thunderstorms that pushed through the area here in the Mid-Atlantic region took a lot of the humidity away today. It has been a very, very pleasant day, and temperatures on the turf can be upwards of 100 as Evans goes to the goal. Erica Evans starts the 4th in style for Canada.
Erica Evans, such a speedy player, using her dominance on the field to her strong lefty side. Right now, They're using Dana Doby as a pick. Nobody's sliding off of Doby, so that gives her extra lane, no double team, no sliding defender coming her way. That's definitely a huge advantage.
Erica Evans, a phys ed teacher back home, showing off her stride there, lifting Canada to a 4-goal cushion. Time runs in the fourth quarter until we have 2 minutes left to play in regulation. Then it's stop time. Morissette's been great inside the circle. She pops this one loose, and Evans runs it down. Kay Morissette, number 6 in the white, has had a fabulous day. Evans going to the goal. Reid makes save number 11.
Excellent save and goal by Britt Reid. A foul on the shot. When a foul affects the shot taker, they are given a free position shot. So that's why we're seeing Erica Evans lined up on this 11-meter free position.
Makes a pass and had it picked. That was intercepted beautifully by Liv Thomas. England in the red the other way. Trailing by 4.
Looking for options off of this. However, it was read by defensive player Liv Thomas. All eyes were up. It's like as if she read that coming.
She snared that like a young Courtney Martinez-Connor.
Thank you, thank you. Now offensively right now, look at this. They're going to their bread and butter.
Whittle driving in, gets underneath on Chevry and sent it high on Halsall. Whittle, known for those mad dashes off of that flank, hasn't had a lot of them tonight. Olivia Hump usually does her best work working from the end line. She's picked up by Sutton. Hump, who is outstanding at Princeton in her collegiate days. Baxter makes the takeaway, and she will stretch those long legs, picking up speed, accelerating downfield. Cut off by Whittle, who loves to ride and redefend. On the go, float it there, in tight, Jimerson!
This started at the defensive end of the field. Maddie Baxter read this play, stuck her stick out, was off to the races, gave it up for Aurora accordingly, and then Jalen Jimerson down on the crease. This is passing. Tic-tac-toe, XY, Allie Jimerson, excuse me, capitalizing on that ball movement. But again, started on the defensive end with Maddie Baxter causing a turnover for her team on the defensive end. Canada's feeling it. They're confident right now. They're playing team defense, transitioning the ball well. We saw a hard ride by Megan Whittle looking to try and slow that ball down, but it didn't prove fruitful.
Allie Jimerson began playing lacrosse at age 6. She's the daughter of Ryan and Claudia. There are 5 kids in the family, 4 girls. One of them, Courtney, is Allie, and Allie is playing in this tournament for Haudenosaunee. 11-6 Canada, largest lead on the night. England has some catching up to do with 10 minutes to go in regulation. This is a very important offensive trip right now for Coach Collier's team. On the move, that sidewinder shot from Tilly Shires sailed wide. Hustling there on the backup was Whittle. Right there to greet her off the end line is Brooklyn Walker-Welch. Whittle hesitates, fidgets on the question mark. That's a tough shot. Didn't get a lot of starch on it. And a speedy backup from Sutton earns the ball for Canada. As Sutton makes a break for it. Starting the clear for Canada. Face dodge away from Whittle. Whittle lost her balance, went inside that restraining line. We play on with 9.5 to go in regulation. Megan Kinn is in no hurry now. We saw Canada slow things down once they had a lead against Australia, and the last time they were out, they really slowed tempo and made sure that they shrunk the fourth quarter.
And it makes sense. There's no shot clock in international play, and they're actually spreading the field even more. Dana Dobie being face guarded.
Child will feed Cordingley. Cordingley hit pay dirt back in the second quarter. Walker Welch will give it right back to Aurora. Dobie subs in. Stepping in from the restraining line. You're allowed to have 6 inside that restraining line. Child off the sweep, going to the goal, fires, score! Annabelle Child. Canada is rolling now.
Picks on ball, movement, utilizing Dana Dobie being shut off. Canada's playing smart lacrosse. So number 27 in white, her feet were set. Did she give the player time to see? That's what referees take a look at. They decided yes on the field. Obviously England looking for a different call, but another goal for Canada, extending their lead, doubling the score of Team England.
When Olivia Hump scored in the third quarter, she made the count 7-6. Since that time, 5 unanswered for the Canadians. Breathing a whole lot easier, attempting to move their record to 2-1. England came into this contest at 2-0. The only unbeaten squad in Pool A, along with the United States. The Stars and Stripes did not play today. They have one more game against England tomorrow that you can see at 5 o'clock on ESPN+. It is a 12-6 advantage for Canada on the eve of 4th of July. The holiday weekend crowd has been terrific here at Towson University at Unitas Stadium. Red, white, and blue United States playing on America's birthday tomorrow. Doing so against England, somewhat fittingly. Jimerson waits, flips for Cordingley. Stride for stride with Emma Oakley. Oakley and Adams, Knowles and Chan and Wilson defensively for Canada on this night. Or rather for England on this night as Cordingley stops and starts.
I love how Canada is using the restraining line.
Jimerson on the sneak. The hat trick goal for Ali.
While Canada is using the restraining line, creating confusion for the defense, it is freeing up lanes for Aurora Cordingley, Ali Jimerson, helping one another at X. We see that quick second where it looked like the defense took a pause. They thought they were playing sides left and right. That's just a lack of communication. Ali capitalized on the fact that the defensive player had her back turned. Incredibly smart. They're playing good X's and O's offensively. That's how they've been able to extend the lead in this fourth quarter, just playing smart lacrosse.
Whole lot of fireworks on display in the sky and on the field for Canada of late. 4 goals on the board in the fourth. Team England head coach Phil Collier, the national team director, asking for time. England has no more timeouts remaining in regulation with 6:15 to go. Teams getting rehydrated. England needs to make one gigantic push now as they have fallen behind by 7. The English side last led this game 4-2 in the second quarter. That was fashioned on a goal by Emily Gray. Since then, it's been rather a routine night for Cam Halsall in the nets for Canada. Anything but that for Britt Reid, the goalie, making her way back to the English net. She has been fantastic. Close to a dozen saves on the game. Morissette, Team Canada with plenty of cheering support in the stands. You see the run the Canadians are on in the last 16 minutes. Inside the draw circle, Morissette's going to get a gold star for her performance tonight. She has been really good getting possession for Canada. Child overruns this. Kinna does not. 12 draw circle controls for Morissette. Heavy hitting there. Walker-Welch colliding. In the unsettled situation, Whittle has a breakaway. Whittle right on in. Score! Megan Whittle finally got loose.
Every ball matters. Every battle in the middle of the field is like it's the last. Ground ball after ground ball. Ultimately, Emily Gray coming up with it, feeding it all the way down to Megan Whittle, and she is off to the races. Megan is so fast, and in situations like that, when it's a one-on-one with a goalie, trailer defender coming in, you still want to keep your stick protected, but that's what her team needed right there. They needed a goal. They needed that energy, the life from the battle that was won on the ground ball all the way to putting their first goal of the fourth quarter.
Now, can Shires beat Morissette? No, Morissette's fouled after she won the draw. It has been a draw circle clinic for Kay Morissette. Her third senior team appearance with Canada, and number 6 has been a dominating factor, giving the Canadians the ball time after time. No matter who England throws inside the circle, trying to win it for itself. Walker-Welch will run it ahead. Whittle had the first goal of the game. She's had the last goal of the game. It's 13-7. There are only 4 minutes to go in this one. The pass inside gets away from Child, taken up off the carpet by Emma Oakley. She lost it to Kinna, and then the whistle for a foul.
Right now, Canada needs to have some patience. You see Dana Dobie having her arms out, reminding everyone, patience, no need to rush things.
Loose ball will come up on the sideline for Annabelle Child. Canada has medaled in each of the last 3 World Championships. Those last 2 medals, both silver, both at the expense of the United States. We'll see Team USA in England tomorrow afternoon at 5. Canada will finish up a date with Scotland at 8 o'clock tomorrow. 8 p.m. in the East. Joe and Courtney with you down the stretch. 3:40 left. Canada in no hurry to go to the goal now.
They are taking their time. Unless it's a sure thing, I doubt they're going to be going to goal. They don't need to give that ball up easily.
Driving in, the ball was lost by the youngster Jill McNaughton. The first time we've called her name. She just turned 18 recently. Recent high school graduate on her way to play collegiately just down the road from here at Johns Hopkins. A future Big Ten Blue Jay. (13-7) with 3 minutes to go. Accordingly, trotting with it, finds Kinna near the end line. Hawked by Emily Gray. Courtney, if you're England, you have to start to double, right? You have to start to take gambles now.
And it makes it really hard because it's a 6v6, but with Dana Dobie pulling herself as well as her face guard out of this situation, it's a 5-on-5.
This is where Britt Reid has to leave the cage. The goalie has to help and get involved in some doubles. You're down by 6. It's highly unlikely that you're going to rally, but you have any chance, you have to double now. Morris going to the goal. Tiptoes around that circle. She was bumped.
And honestly, at this point, take the face guard off of Dana Dobie. If she scores, she scores. Let the double come, so that way it's not so spread out defensively.
We have seen Hannah Morris in this young tournament really strike up the band from here at the 11-meter fan. She can fire it. She thought about it there, and there was a whistle before the release. Very powerful shooter. She can pick corners with the best of them. Morris fires, knocked away by Reid. One more save for the English keeper. Soaring to the ground, to the turf there heavily for England was Emily Nalds. Under 2 minutes to play. Stop time now. 13-7 for Canada. A card has been called. A yellow has been assessed.
Hannah Morris coming off the field for Canada. Yellow card was given to her. This actually plays very well into England. They need to come back. They need to score as many goals as they can during this time frame. Being a player up is certainly helpful. Move the ball, find the open player.
Now you start thinking about possible tie-breaking scenarios and goal differentials. England losing at the moment a -6 goal differential. Every point will matter should there be a tiebreaker necessary in the seeding of the top 5 through Pool A. Right now, Team USA is on top, a mark of 3-0. Canada, or rather England, could have tied them with an upset win over Canada tonight, which looks more and more unlikely as we near the finish line. Canada will improve to 2-1, a chance to go to 3-1 should they down Scotland, winless so far in the tournament. This one rings the post. Halsall heard another friendly ping behind her. Whittle going to goal with 70 seconds left. Shires on her way down, sent it wide.
Canada needs a sense of urgency in their player-up situations. They seem to be having a lot of players around the perimeter. They need more options inside.
Free position shot coming. Tilly Shires, her first World Championship. Bounce shot, score! An emphatic spike of the cross down from Shires. More than likely too little too late, but it makes the deficit 5.
Tilly Shires evading all the crashing sticks, swinging sticks around her, very composed as she's coming off of that line. Actually harder to score off of that 11 meter than it should have been off of the player up situation. Nevertheless, she was able to pull them to within 5 at this point. It only takes 6 seconds from the draw control. Is it doable? Yes. Is it going to be difficult? Yes, considering how often Team Canada has won the draw.
We've seen amazing individual efforts in this game. Britt Reid in goal for England, outstanding. Inside the face-off circle, Morissette, 6 for Canada in the white. She has 13 draw controls, the most of any player in an individual game in this tournament. Just over a minute left, and Morissette continues her magic with a scoop. The pass, though, deflected. Hump there with Whittle. England has it. Wimpenny knocked down. She was fouled with 51 seconds to go. Stop time. Stop time. That does not count. The officials will bring it back. England will want time put back on the clock. Every second matters to them. Trailing by 5 under a minute. Long odds against the English, but they want every opportunity, as Liv Wimpenny will get things restarted. Had a goal and an assist against Scotland yesterday. Hump feeds right back to Wimpenny. Big save there for Halsall. Cam Halsall read that one with poise. She clearly and cleanly made that stop. And Canada is on its way to win number 2 in this tournament. 30 seconds left. Right now, Halsall walking into a double team. Ripped off by Hump, feed it in tight. Going to the goal, the cage is empty there. Ball knocked out of the cross of Liv Thomas, who was fouled and will have a free position. Halsall gets back into the goalie circle.
Incredibly smart foul for Team Canada right there, giving time for their goalkeeper, Cameron Halsall, to get back into the cage because she was well past the restraining line.
Liv Thomas may be the strongest player physically on this Team England group. She's straight away on the free position from 11 meters. Fakes it, works it inside, and draws another free position with 17 seconds to go. Canada on the lead. A pass to the wing gets away from Wimpenny. Megan Kinna picks it up, and Team Canada will walk away a winner tonight. A Sunday evening on the eve of 4th of July. Canada has the victory in hand by the final count of 13-8.
Canada, tremendous job after the first quarter. They came back, they changed their game plan, and for the next 3 quarters, they went on to win each one collectively. Their defense tightened things up. When the face guard came out on Dana Dobie, they handled it. They changed their plan again. But Britt Reid right there, her play kept this game even closer.
A very valiant effort in defeat for Reid. Courtney, have a look at the Pool A standings. This is up to the minute now. England and Canada level with marks of 2-1 after this outcome.
You know, this is exactly where Canada wanted to be. They wanted to come away with this win. They've obviously already faced the United States, the other toughest competitor in this league, the reigning world champions, and England is going to set up to face them. So at this point, I'm going to go out on a limb and say United States seed 1, Canada seed 2.
First tiebreaker is indeed head-to-head, and head-to-head tonight, Canada downs England by the final of 13-8. For Courtney Martinez, Connor, and all the hardworking men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks for your time. We will see you on United Stadium tomorrow. Team USA against Team England at 5 on the 4th of July. Join us for that. Canada, 13-8. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Have a great evening, everyone.